And here's some warthogs, a mama and her babies. That was in Awash, where the lions were too. My father-in-law was with us, and he was, you like my baboon and monkey stories, I hope. He was not too smart. There was a huge father monkey, and, oh, I can show you a few minutes. And he does like this to it, and the thing just plants itself, and I'm like, are you stupid or what? That thing's going to charge you. This is how I got to work every day. A taxi would come, and all the teachers would load up in the taxi, and off to school we'd go. And then these were my students. So they were 5th and 6th grade combination. Okay, this summer obviously we were in Ethiopia 2 years, so the summer in between, we took a lot of interesting trips, and one we went to, we decided we wanted to climb, I decided I wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. My husband just kind of was like, okay, let's see. And so this is it. We were very ill prepared. We didn't have any like warm jackets or boots or anything, so this is everybody getting ready. That's me. And so we just had to kind of like rent things. We rented jackets, we rented boots. We were very stupid and did not even have water bottles. I think about it now and I'm like, oh, I'm surprised we survived. Okay, we went up you're supposed to go up in 3 days and down in 2. But we took 4 days because one day it rained all day and we just said, we're not walking in the rain. So this is at the end of the first day, and that was a little cabin, I guess you'd call it, that we slept in. And it's not a technical climb, it's just like a long walk. But you'll notice this is all the guides and the men that carried the food and stuff, and they're getting our food prepared for us. I know that, I don't know, are these pictures, can you really see anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to do a little closer, Cassandra.
And then you can see how green and lush it is at the base. And actually my husband and I were kind of at an advantage having been living in Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is at 8,000 feet altitude. Mount Kilimanjaro is almost 20,000 feet. So a lot of people were having issues that we weren't having because we were used to altitude. How much is a mile? 5,280. So this was almost 20,000. You can figure it out, right? How many miles is it up?
A lot.
3.5, about? More? Okay, just again, it was nice and lush for a long, and right at the base there were monkeys in the trees and everything. And then as you go up, you can see it changes. That's Kilimanjaro. That I don't remember the name of, but another peak. It looks bigger because it's closer, but Kilimanjaro is the highest point in Africa. Okay. And again, just more like grasses. Right. And there's the peak. You can see it's changing again. At some point it becomes like a tundra. And now it's getting even more like rocky. And this is inside that cabin. That gentleman was, we walked for a couple days with a German couple, because some people like came from the United States and they had these and I'm not putting them down or anything, but they were with a company that provided everything. Well, but since we were already in Africa, we just, went there by ourselves, got ourselves to the mountain, and then just hired people right there. And they had done the same thing. That's my husband and I eating in the little lodge that they had. And you can see you see a difference in the environment changing. This was sad. I told you it rained that one day and most people stayed put. You can't really see much there except a lot of people looking down because there was a German guy who did not stay put. He had already had a cold. He kept walking up, and when you go up in altitude, one of two things can happen to you. Your chest can either get filled with fluid or your brain. Well, this guy ignored all of his signs, and he kept walking up, and then when he came back down, because you walk all the way up, and then when you come back down, you go to the middle lodge again, and he laid down, his chest filled with fluid, and somebody found him, and he was in a really bad situation. And so the only thing you can do is be taken down the mountain where there's more oxygen. Well, they had already taken, you got to remember, you're in an African country. They tell you that they have all the emergency equipment, but they didn't have any cots. So what they did is they actually took down a door, and they laid him on the door, and somebody got on one side, somebody got on the other side, and they started to bring him down as fast as they could. He died. So even though it's not a technical climb, it's not an easy thing to do either. And whenever you go into a place where there's less oxygen, you could be in danger. Okay. So you can see it's changed. Go to the next one. Now you can really see the change, right? Remember how lush it was? And now we're in rocky. Rocks and dirt. My husband had just about had it by that point. Okay. But we still had a ways to go, so there we are, trudging along. Okay, next one down below. And taking a little bit of a breather, because as you can imagine, the further up, the harder it was to breathe. Okay, another breather. I look like I'm having a Zen moment or something. Okay. And that is the last little lodge that you get to. And you get there about, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3. They feed you your dinner right away, and then you go to bed. Because they wake you up at midnight. Because they want you to reach the top when the sun is rising. So we went to bed. And I thought that was cool because what is this?
Clouds.
Clouds. We were above the cloud line. Okay, and we were very lucky because on one side we had a full moon, and on the other side we saw the sun rising. Cool. It was very cool. But then you get to the top, and there's not a whole heck of a lot there. That's the top. And there's a little book, and you can sign the book. And then they give you these little certificates saying, this is to certify that whoever has successfully climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest in Africa, right to the summit, Uhuru Peak, 5,895 meters. 19,800 and some feet. And this was in 1987, before you guys were born, right? Close? Yeah. All right, and then coming down. I just think that's cool. You can still see the moon. And this was the guide, and I'm behind him because he's saying, pole, 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 and that means slowly, slowly. And I just watched his feet and kept going because my husband got a headache, I got a little tummy problem. We met this Japanese guy who was actually on his hands and knees crawling, and everybody said, go down, you're not doing well, go down, but I don't know what ended up happening to him. There is snow on the top, but when I was there again just recently, the snow is melting, global warming. So I bet in 20 years there's not going to be much snow left. And this, I love this picture because the stuff in the front is snow, but what's that behind? Clouds. So you've got your snow and you've got your clouds. Okay? And then coming down, oh, here's another picture of the top. You get up there and all you can do is sit down. We sat down for about 10 minutes and we said that's enough. We need to get down, get more oxygen. And so we started. And again, you can see here we're back in the lush, starting to get green, greener. And you see they carry everything on their heads, the guides and the people who help us with our things. And there I am, swinging my arms. I'm done. I've had enough. It was exciting, but it was a tiring week. Do you have any time? No.
Yeah, we're done.
So, if you ever have an opportunity to travel, to do things like that, I really encourage you. It changes your whole perspective on life in general. And you I think, become much more tolerant of different kinds of people. You realize that they're different from you for a reason. They're not just trying to annoy you. Seriously, I know some people, that's the attitude they take. Oh, these people are annoying because they're not like me. No, you have to celebrate differences. Okay? Any quick questions?